So it turns out many of you guys who watch my videos have never been to Zimbabwe, let alone come for a vacation. So today I want to do something special specifically for you. You probably have a lot of questions concerning Zimbabwe, and even though you watch my channel through and through to learn more about the famous Zimbabwean economy, Zimbabwean culture, and of course how amazing Zimbabweans are, you are probably left with a whole lot of unanswered questions, like if you want to come to Zimbabwe, what do you need to bring? Is it safe? Where do you stay? And how do you get around from place to place? And yes, you probably watched over a dozen of videos online talking about Zimbabwe, and you've been picking pieces from here and pieces from there. But wouldn't it be so nice if you get that 101 travel guide to Zimbabwe in one go? This is what I have for you today. Hey guys, welcome back to this YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, hi, I'm Tino Sparks, your favorite African without borders. I indeed love sharing the beauty of our continent with the rest of the world. And Zimbabwe is more than just a destination. It is a feeling, it is a vibe, and of course it is a story that is waiting to be told. So if you're happy to experience Zimbabwe yourself, hit that subscribe button and give this video a huge thumbs up, and let's get started. As Zimbabweans who've hosted people from all over the world, I know the questions that you've had before you visit, so let's break it down. Number one, the visas. Depending from which country you are from, a visa is definitely a requirement. At a certain fee, do your research. If you're coming from other countries, you definitely need to apply for an e-visa. You can also check with your country's embassy in Zimbabwe on the various requirements that you need to enter Zimbabwe. From other African countries in the region, you definitely don't need a visa, and you get your 30 days or your 90 days on arrival. So I kindly advise you to check the Zimbabwean immigration website for further details. Now let's move on to the currency, because money makes the world go round, right? We have a local currency that is called the Zimbabwean gold, and we don't use it very much often unless you're doing transactions which are less than $1. This is the 10 Zimbabwean note called the 10 zig, and it is $0.25. You need 4 of this to make $1. So 40 zig is equals to $1 US. The Zimbabwean dollar is mainly used when you're using local transportation and maybe buying from the local store, but mostly the United States dollar is what we use in Zimbabwe. We of course have the $100 note, the $50 note, the $20 note, the $10 note, $5 note, and the singles. But you might want to move around with lower denominations, the 10s, the 5s, and if you may, the $1 single notes, and I'll tell you why. We don't print the United States dollar in Zimbabwe, obviously, so it is hard to get around to find change. In order to get much value of your money, it is better you use the smaller denominations. And if you ever find yourself with a higher denomination like a 20, a 50, a 100, it is better you use that one first, because you might not want to be in a situation where you need to pay something for $2 and you're holding a $20 note. That transaction in Zimbabwe is most likely not to happen, because change definitely is a problem, and you don't want to be forced to be tipping the person you want to pay a ridiculous amount. Keep that in mind. You're probably asking, so how do I make payments? Can I travel with my Visa card? Can I withdraw with my Visa card? And yes, we do have MasterCard or Visa card ATMs right here in Zimbabwe. You are able to withdraw your money, but quick tip, you need to contact your bank before you come to Zimbabwe so that they don't block them out. Services like Apple Pay, yes, do work right here in Zimbabwe. It is easier to make your payments using your phone, using your card. You are able to swipe anyway. Right here in Zimbabwe, you guys, cash is king. So don't forget to carry around cash somewhere, because for things like transportation, you definitely need cash, and things like buying from local stores where they don't have provisions for using your card. Another thing that you guys need to know is that in other parts of Zimbabwe, we do use South African rands. In other regions, they use the Botswana pula, but the United States dollar is widely used because of its stability. Now, because we don't print these notes, you are most likely to find very old notes in the economy. Please don't be scared when they hand you out an old knot. The only thing that you must look out for is a torn knot. Do not accept torn knots. And if you ever come across a torn knot during your transactions, it's only the bank that can bank that money for you. Unfortunately, locals will not agree. Moving on, if you have money that you want to bring into Zimbabwe and you're probably wondering what laws are there about bringing money into Zimbabwe, you can bring absolutely any amount, but all you have to do is to declare that money by the customs. And sometimes if your amounts are ridiculous, you're obviously going to be asked your sources of income with proof. Well, Zimbabwe's weather is quite versatile. We have cold winter nights and hot summer days, and sometimes we have rains here and there. Now, let me put this into perspective. Zimbabwe's summers are definitely cooler than Florida, and we do not have snow. We almost never have temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius throughout the year, and the highs can go up to 30. The worst could be 35 degrees unless when there are extreme weather temperatures that are put on high alert. So the weather is so perfect. Feel very comfortable to pack light and breathable clothes, comfortable shoes. A bit of decent clothes will make your stay much more comfortable if you're meeting with the locals. And don't forget to bring your insect repellent. Now, do you need sunscreen? Well, if you wish, you can bring sunscreen, but the Zimbabwean sun is not too hot, so it definitely gives you the perfect tan. Nevertheless, if you're obviously visiting in winter, don't forget to pack a jacket, but not as heavy as your snow jackets. On accommodations, trust Airbnb and Booking.com. There you are able to play around with the budget and the available amenities. So take your time to look for a property. The hype is, so which city can I stay in? Which city is safer for me? Well, the reason for your visit actually determines where you want to go, which I'm going to be sharing in the next couple of minutes. But for a start, you might want to visit the major cities because of services available, transport available, and for convenience, definitely the major cities. Now that you've done your due diligence, you've booked that trip, and you are headed to Zimbabwe, here's what to expect when you arrive in Zimbabwe. The moment you touch ground, you will definitely feel the warmth. Well, of course, not of the weather, but the warmth of the people of Zimbabwe. Your airport experience will probably be one of the best you've ever experienced because our immigration is usually straightforward. And a tip, you might want to consider having printed documents of your passport, your return ticket, your accommodation details, and the like. Take note to keep them in a separate document where you have your passport. In case you lose your documentation, you have somewhere to start. And a tip that no one who's never been to Zimbabwe is not going to tell you: a smile on your face and a little patience goes a long way. Well, on my travels across Africa, I learned that pre-arranging transport will save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and will definitely do you justice. So if you are traveling from city to city, public buses are definitely available, and yes, you can book and pay online. If you are going to be traveling shorter distances, you need transport services like the taxis, the Uber, the Bolt, the Hyundai. We have them right here in Zimbabwe. At an international level, Uber absolutely works in Zimbabwe, so that won't be a problem. However, the best way to get around is to pre-book a car hire. It has made life easier for other people because now the car hire is able to navigate better routes for you to get to your desired destination. And once you're in and you have a local accompanying you, you might want to experience the Kombi culture. It is an amazing experience. Drop a comment if you have been to Zimbabwe. Let me know your experience in the comments. Now let me tell you how I do it. Every time I get to Zimbabwe, first thing that I do is to grab a local snack. For me, it's absolutely fuko mahewu, which is fermented maize meal porridge with a bit of sorghum or freshly made roasted maize. I absolutely love that one, but I always want to try and get it from a trusted vendor. To me, it's definitely like a welcome home tradition, and in Zimbabwe we say mawuya to mean welcome, or wamkelekile to Zimbabwe, and by that you would know that you've touched ground in Zimbabwe. Now here is the fun part, exploring Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is for everyone. Whether you are an adventure junkie, you are a food lover, or you are a history lover, there is a destination for you. We have the Victoria Falls. Let me tell you, no first trip to Zimbabwe is complete without visiting one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Mosuotunya, the smoke that thunders. The view is spectacular and the showers from the fall, it's so refreshing and unforgettable. First time I felt the falls on my skin, I was a bit about 12 years and I can still recall that very moment even up to date. So do it next time you visit Zimbabwe and thank me later. Number 2, the Matobo Hills. The hidden gem is perfect for those of you guys who love hiking and a bit of history. Great Zimbabwe is also a place that you go to if you want to know about the Zimbabwean history and amazing architecture. You would definitely love it. The major cities are full of surprises. If you want to experience the major nightlife, the best restaurants, the best hotels, then Harare and Bulawayo are definitely your go-to cities. Well, if you are visiting Zimbabwe for only authentic Zimbabwean culture and experience with the local people, now Zimbabwe rural life is definitely for you. Visit any other village that you can and you experience the true heart of Zimbabwe and Zimbabwean cultural dishes. People in rural Zimbabwe will leave you very much humble and very much inspired, and of course teach you to appreciate what you have from wherever you are coming from. Now, to make a trip smooth and memorable, here are a few tips on how to navigate Zimbabwe like a pro. The first thing that you need to do as you touch ground is to get connected. Of course, the airport has some free Wi-Fi, but outside the airport, you are on your own. So if you have activated e-roaming, good for you. But if not, don't worry, because we do have good internet right here in Zimbabwe. Now let me educate you a little bit. The 2 main service providers that are doing well in Zimbabwe are Econet and Net1. So you get to the airport, find an Econet booth or a Net1 booth. Now here's the tip. If you want a cheaper call minutes, opt for Econet. You're going to be traveling off-road, off-ramp, then Net1 is definitely the call coverage network for you. It does wonders in rural Zimbabwe. And for internet, I personally choose Net1 because their data bundles are definitely cheaper. But the network speed, it is almost the same for both networks. If the lighting is a bit off, you guys, I'm filming this under natural lighting, so you might want to find a place that has backup solar for electricity, and if you may, definitely bring a power bank to keep your phone connected. Another tip is you need to learn some local phrases. Yes, we have English as an official language that many people are able to understand, but a little ngiyabonga for thank you in isiNdebele, one of the main languages spoken in Zimbabwe, or tinotenda, which is also Shona for thank you. By the way, you guys, did you know that Tino is short for tinotenda? So whenever you forget how to say thank you in Shona, think about my name, Tino, and of course, figure out the rest. Another thing, what's a trip to Zimbabwe without trying the local food? Notabene, try food from a trusted local restaurant. And you definitely don't want to try street food if you're not well versed with the places to buy your street food from. The common dish that you might want to try is the sadza, which is our staple diet. To have the best of sadza experience, ask for gango, which is a mixture of meats mixed with a vegetable called rugare or kovo. And if you want to spice it up a little bit, ask for worms. That's right, we have mopane worms as a delicacy, and the Shona people call it madora. Is madora something that you want to try? Drop a comment and let me know. If you're traveling to the eastern highlands of Zimbabwe, you are safe because their water is very safe to drink. Now, if you're traveling anywhere else, just to be safe, always carry a bottle of purified water. Don't ever try to drink tap water. Now, if you don't listen to my water advice and you didn't listen to my local street advice, then you might want to try this one. Always carry a tissue paper wherever you're going, because in case you get a running stomach, you might need to use the bathroom, and you might never actually find a toilet paper in the public restrooms. Now, a tip on the restrooms: only restrooms from the restaurants, from the malls, and the local fuel station are safe to use. And the rest, I don't want to be part of that conversation. Well, it's good to actually plan your itinerary way before you come to Zimbabwe, but here is a tip. Sometimes things might get a little slow here. Sometimes you might want to enjoy one place a little longer. So it's better to come to Zimbabwe with an expectation that you might spend more days than you had planned in a specific place. Things may take a little longer, or you might actually enjoy the place better to spend more days. So plan less and absolutely let the beauty of Zimbabwe take you to places that you've never imagined. Search the beauty of the Hode Valley and tell me about it in the comment section. Well, if you haven't caught on and this is the first time you're hearing about Zimbabwe, there's so many things that make Zimbabwe so unique. People right here are happy people, very resilient type of people, and our culture is amazing. You definitely want to try that one. Also, Zimbabwe is a country that is for everyone. From Great Zimbabwe, the first medieval city in Southern Africa, to the bustling and vibrant city of Harare. And if you're open to stepping out of your comfort zone and connect with the locals, Zimbabwe will reward you in ways that you can never imagine. I hope this guide has given you confidence on planning your first trip to Zimbabwe. And with this guide, I hope you're able to experience the real magic of the Zimbabwean experience. Share your questions on what you're most excited about. I would love to help you make this the best trip you've ever had right here in Africa. And of course, if you watched this video this far, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and you guys already know it can only happen if you guys make it happen. I'm Tina Sparks, your favorite African without borders, and I am signing out.